Today's story, Rain, Rain, Go Away. Oh, let's see what happens. Rain, rain, go away. Come again some other day. Oh, I guess they don't want rain to stay. Okay. We want to go outside and play. Well, I understand that. Come again some other day. Oh, okay. Ooh, sun, sun, come and shine. While I play with friends of mine. Laughing and dancing, ooh, in a conga line. Oh, conga lines are fun. Sun, sun, come and shine. Oh, rain, rain, you can stay. We'll keep playing anyway. Life's still great when the sky is gray. Rain, rain, you can stay. Oh, that's a great story.
Hi kids, my name is Andre. I'll be your storyteller for today. Today, we'll be reading Dichotomous Hippopotamus. It's a really cool story. It goes like this: one side up and one side down. Can you say it with me? Of course you can. All right kids, I think the story's about to get started. Let's do it together, shall we? Here we go. We have one side up and one side down. We have one side country and one side town. We have one side dot and one side stripes. We have one side meek and one side might. We have one side quiet and one side loud. We have one side humble and one side proud. We have one side lost and one side found. We have one side square and one side round. We have one side noon, one side sun. We have one side boring, one side fun. We have one side fast and one side slow. We have one side stop and one side go. Oh, that was a lot of fun. Okay, this time, do you think you can do it with me? Here we go. Let's start out really quiet. Okay, so we have one side up, one side down. We have one side country, one side town. We have one side dot and one side stripes. We have one side meek and one side might. We have one side quiet, one side loud. We have one side humble and one side proud. We have one side lost and one side found. We have one side square and one side round. We have one side moon and one side sun. We have one side boring, one side fun. We have one side fast and one side slow. We have one side stop and ready, steady, go! 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 We have ready, steady, go!
What's up, guys? I'm NFL wide receiver Ryan Switzer. I'm partnering with Sleep Number. They had a fantastic idea of supporting military families and reading to military families' children. So as soon as I said yes, we got to work on this project. I'm super excited because reading's been a big part of my childhood. It's been a big part of my adulthood so far. I remember reading to my little sister growing up, and it always used to help her fall asleep. And it does the same for me as well. So I'm excited to read to you guys today. Hopefully you have fun following along, and here we go. I'm going to read Off to Bed by Miriam Ben Arab and David Yurga. Off to bed, sleepyhead. Sweet dreams, little child, will fly you through the night. Listening to a lullaby, climb aboard your flight. On the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pajamas on. Great big yawn. On the count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Close your eyes and off you fly. On the count of 3, 2, 1. Float so soft, drift aloft. On the count of 2, 1, sweet trip, King of Dreams. On the count of 1, rocked and kissed by moonbeams. And so you learn to rest, sleep, and dream. The end.
What? Oh my goodness! Is it true? I heard all the critters were coming to hear me read a book to you. That's right, you're all critters today because you're joining us on a critter fitter adventure. That's right. Oh yeah, it's about to be a really cool story that I'm gonna read for you. Oh wait, I guess that means I have to tell you who I am. My name is Dr. Jen Welter, and if you're a football fan, you might know me because I was the first female to coach in the NFL. But if you're not a football fan and you didn't know that, that's okay too, because actually, it has nothing to do with why I'm here today. This isn't a football day, this is a you day. And why am I reading this book? Well, I wrote it, of course. I wrote this book, Critter Fitters, Wearing a Mask Says I Love You, to be able to teach you how to be a part of the ant army. I know you don't know what that means yet, but trust me when I tell you, you're gonna wanna be a part of the ant army. Oh, and by the way, this book was brought to life with one of my really good friends, Brooke Foley, and it was written for another of my really good friends. I call her Jilly Bean. She's a nurse, and she is one of the people out there helping to keep us all safe from harm. So for Jilly Bean, all of the essential workers out there, and especially a special nod to Governor Cuomo, whose press conferences have given us clarity and compassion in a crazy time. This book is for you. Okay, are you ready? Are you really ready? Do you promise you're ready? Because we're about to read Critter Fitters. Wearing a Mask Says I Love You. Here we go. When bugs wake up, just like you, bugs get up with bug things to do. Ladybug was looking out the window. She wanted to get out and go. But there was a virus no one could see. It was the invisible enemy. The virus hopped from bug to bug very quick, and bugs could pass it without even feeling sick. The bugs were told not to go out. The virus needed carriers to move about. Yes, viruses are very scary, but to be passed, they must be carried. Just like the mail can only be delivered by a snail, if no one spreads it, then the virus will fail. The virus doesn't have its own feet, so it can't just walk down the street. Pick me up! I'm a virus and I don't have feet! Pick me up! The virus is sneaky and very clingy. It wants to come in, it's very pesky. I want to sneak on your hands and your clothes. Take me in through your mouth and your nose. Critters don't want to become carriers, so they wear masks as barriers. Man, not a mask! Ah! Critters also wash their hands, wings, and all bug things. Soap and viruses don't get along. Soap shows the virus it doesn't belong. And I'm melting. No, not soap. Ah! Seeing a critter in a mask isn't cause for alarm. A critter in a mask is trying to protect you from harm. When I wear a mask, I protect you and me from the virus that we can't see. To stop the virus, the bugs stayed inside. The bugs fought by staying home with pride. It was as if the world was put on pause. But all of the bugs knew it was for a good cause. Most of the bugs moving about on the streets were working towards the virus's defeat. The bees didn't leave their honeycomb. The fireflies flashed their lights from home. Spider stayed put in her web, but the ants chose to leave their beds. The ant army was the front line of the fight. The ants are soldiers who do what's right. All bugs greeted the army with applause. Yay, ants! But they wanted to do more to help the cause. As the ants marched by, Ladybug sighed. Those ants are such brave bugs. I wish I could give them all hugs. But she couldn't, and it hurt her heart because the world had to stay 6 feet apart. Ladybug wanted to help while still staying home. So Ladybug called all her bug friends on the phone. All the bugs had ideas of what they could do. Bugs like to help, just like you. The ideas all came from within. Busy was the first to jump in. I can switch from honey to delivery. Plus, everyone can work out with me. Then Spider said, I will stop spinning webs and start sewing masks instead. And we'll give you light to work by, offered the fireflies. Last but not least came Ladybug. I'm in charge of social distance hugs. Over the phone, the bugs didn't feel so alone, even though they were in their own homes. They were connected through the heart, even when they were far apart. Spider worked all through the night, thanks to the beautiful firefly light. With the fireflies flying 6 feet apart and 6 feet above, Spider used all 8 legs to sew fast and with love. Even masks couldn't keep their smiles hidden because the work felt good from deep within. Spider handed the masks off to Busy. Busy spread the masks by touchless delivery. Busy buzzed masks to all bugs on the ground and up above, because all bugs can wear masks to show love. When the ant army marched home that night, they were guided by firefly light. Busy needed their help for the last delivery because Busy had masks for the whole ant army. The masks fluttered down from the sky by the twinkling light from the fireflies. As soon as the masks appeared, all of the bugs clapped and cheered. The ants were literally being showered with hugs, even when they couldn't touch any other bugs. Sergeant stopped all the ants. I tried to resist, but I can't. We ants are always on the go. But miss this? To this, I say no. Sergeant looked around, assessed the scene. Every bug had at least 6 feet in between. And though wearing masks, he could feel the smiles. They were the most loving smiles he had felt in a while. Now, with masks for every bug, all bugs joined the ant army with love. Sergeant raised his arm. The bugs all went silent. Thank you all for doing what's right. Thank you all for helping us fight. Thank you for fighting the virus from your home. We are fighting together, even when alone. We are fighting by staying 6 feet apart, and seeing you in masks warms my heart. Wearing a mask is the right thing to do. Wearing a mask says, I love you. Now, little critters, put your mask on with me, Be a part of the ant army. Boots on the ground fighting the invisible enemy. Together, we are the infantry. Oh my goodness, is it time? I heard a rumor all of the critters were coming. In case you didn't know, let me introduce myself. I'm Dr. Jen Welter. If you know the name, it's probably because I was the first female coach in the NFL. But if you didn't know that, that's okay. The reason why I'm here today is actually to read you a book that I wrote. And I got to put together with one of my really good friends, Brooke Foley, who made it look so cool for everybody. This book is called When a Ladybug Can't Hug. And believe it or not, it was inspired by this little bug right here. This is my Chihuahua Tyson, but it's kind of hard to rhyme with Chihuahua, so he became a ladybug. Are you okay with that, Ty? I think you are. So hopefully you guys will join me and my little bug right here who gives me lots of hugs in this book, which I wrote, called When a Ladybug Can't Hug. When the sun comes up, just like you, bugs wake up with bug things to do. I'm a ladybug and I love to give hugs. In my normal day, I give my friends love my ladybug way. Ants get up out of their beds and march like an army into the day ahead. I fly over, hug my friend ants. They try to resist, but they can't. After giving my hugs, I fly on to my next bug. Bees get buzzing as soon as they leave home. From flower to flower, they gather nectar for their honeycomb. The bees work hard and are always busy, but never too busy for a hug from me. After giving my hugs, I fly on to my next bug. Spiders work spinning their webs. Believe it or not, they are making their beds. Ladybug loves getting hugs from the spider. Being hugged by all 8 legs, she feels secure. It's such a comfortable place to stay. Ladybug could easily stay all day. For fireflies, the day is night. All together, they make a nightlight. The fireflies come out flashing bright. Then we'd hug to say goodnight. At the end of each ladybug day, I was happy because of the hugs I gave away. One day, Ladybug woke up and saw a snail. Of course he was there to deliver the mail. There is a virus making everyone sick. It hops from bug to bug very quick. The only way to bring the virus to defeat? All bugs have to stay apart 6 feet? What do you mean we have to stay 6 bug feet apart? That will break my ladybug heart. You've gotta be kidding. Ugh. What good is a ladybug who can't hug? The virus was scary. It was reason to hide. All of the bugs were told to stay inside. The ants were not allowed to leave their beds. The spider stayed put in her web. The bees didn't leave the honeycomb. The fireflies even flashed their lights from home. Ladybug was sad. She didn't know what to do. She couldn't love through hugs, which made her feel blue. When Ladybug woke up, she found a way to spread hugs while still staying 6 feet away. Paper and crayons all around, she drew and drew, loving pictures of hugs for all the bugs she knew. Even though the bugs had to be so far apart, Ladybug could still
reach the bugs' hearts.
Hi everyone, I'm Max, the CEO of Caribu, and I'm so excited to read you a book on Caribu so that you can see the story and also see me. So let's go to my favorites. My Mommy is a Nurse. So the book is by Danielle and Gina, and it goes like this. Mommy is a super mommy. No cape, but it's true. She's a nurse who heals the sick and fixes boo-boos too. Mommies, daddies, sons, and daughters see her when they're sick. Listens to the heart, lub-dub. I taught her this neat trick. Always washing, washing, washing. Hands and fingers too. How many of you have heard that recently? She says germs are everywhere, especially achoo's. Scrubs are what she wears. I guess that's how she's always so clean. Stomps out in huge clogs, the biggest shoes I've ever seen. When I'm sick, my mommy's here to take good care of me. Medicine and food and love, she heals me with these three. Mommy loves to care for others, like she does for me. When she has to pee, her patients take priority. Sometimes she works late at night, and sometimes all day long. But I know that she can't wait to sing my bedtime song. After she has tucked me in, my mommy stays awake. Washing dishes, folding clothes, she really needs a break. Super mommy is a nurse whose calling is to heal, but her superpower is in how she helps us feel.
Hi guys, my name is Mackenzie and I'm 9 years old, and today I'm going to be reading my award-winning book called Kicking It with Kenzie, What's Meant for Me Will Be. It's very easy for me to see all the things I want to be. A famous singer? Yes, that's definitely what I want to be. I tried so hard to hold those notes. I guess singing isn't meant for me. What else could I possibly be? Oh, an actress on television. That's definitely right for me. I mean, how hard could it be? I audition for shows and commercials, but no one ever picks me. I guess acting isn't meant for me. Now theater has to be the calling. That's right up my alley. I love putting on shows and dancing. Let's see what this path brings for me. My school just posted the roles for the spring play. I was cast to be the stagehand, and this really saddened me. It seems that theater just isn't suited for me. How about a veterinarian? I love animals, you see. I have a dog named Josie. This is the perfect job for me. I visited a local zoo and realized that many animals scare me. I guess a veterinarian just isn't right for me. Another thing I really like is painting. It possibly just could be that being an artist is what's a good fit for me. I keep coloring out of the lines, and this paint is so messy. Perhaps being an artist isn't all it's cracked up to be for me. As hard as I've tried, nothing seems to be going as planned for me. So I'm going to wait, practice, and keep learning from classes and the world that's all around me. The path that's meant to bring much joy will come in due time, you see. Nothing that's worth having will just be handed to me. I must go through steps and take my time. This way, my dreams will become a reality. But what I realized during this trek is I am in control of my own destiny. And nobody can place a will upon me because what's meant for me will be.
Hi, I'm Audra Knotgrass. I'm the author of Ellie Marches On. I'm so excited to read you this story using Caribu. Ellie Marches On by Audra Knotgrass. The winter I was 5 was a cold one. It rained, but the rain never turned to snow. I went to school, played video games, and hung out with my best friend Nafia. Nafia didn't have many friends. She was new to the neighborhood and didn't speak much English. Once, while we were eating lunch, Parker came over to our table. He started calling Nafia mean names and took away her food. "Stop that," I cried, but Parker kept on calling her names and shouting at her to go home. I jumped up, grabbed Nafia's food, and yelled at Parker to go away. Seeing Nafia hurt by mean kids made me sad. It didn't matter that we were different. She was my best friend, and I was hers. One night, I was in the kitchen getting a snack. Mama and her friend Ash were bent over large foam boards. Paint was everywhere, and music played in the background. I wandered over to the table, and Mama looked up. "What you doing?" I asked as Mama and Ash stopped their work. "Well," Mama said slowly, "a lot of people think Nafia shouldn't live here. They think she should go back to the country where she was born. These people are being very unkind. Their kids hear their parents talking at home, and they repeat what they hear at school. It hurts Nafia very much. Do you remember how the kids at school treat Nafia?" Mama asked. I nodded. "But Mama, that's not right, and it's not fair. I like her living here. I don't want her to move away." "No, it's not right, but we can help. We can let people know that we will work hard to protect Nafia." Then Mama and Ash told me about some brave women who stood up for what is right. They told me about Alice Walker, a writer who speaks out for human rights. They told me about Hillary Clinton, a politician who has spent her life working for the fair treatment of others. And they told me about Coretta Scott King, an activist who fought her whole life for civil rights and racial justice. There are many women who work tirelessly so that girls like Nafi and you could make your own choices, go to school, and be themselves. Sometimes people were mean to these brave women, but they fought hard to earn and protect the rights of all girls. They never gave up, even when they wanted to, Mama said. "Mama, how can I help like these women did?" "Tomorrow, Ash and I are going to the city to march with hundreds of people. We are going to show people that we care about Nafia and that we are willing to work hard to make our country safe and free for everyone. You're welcome to come march with us," Mama said. "I'm going to come with you, and I'm going to make a sign." "Mama, can Nafia come with me?" I asked. "Yes, she can, if her parents say it's okay." I was so excited that I jumped to my feet and ran all the way to Nafia's house. I told Nafia all about the march, and she wanted to come with me. Her mom said it was okay. We worked very hard on our signs. They had to be the most beautiful signs we could make. The very next morning, we went to the march. It was packed. It was colorful. The sun was shining, and it was beautiful. I clutched my sign as we began to walk. I remembered the stories about Alice, Hillary, and Coretta. I remembered the struggles and the victories. I thought about the hard work they did so I could march today. My heart swelled with gratefulness. The long line of women marching stretched out in front of me, and behind me the line was so long I imagined it fading into the past. Gripping my sign tighter, I turned my face toward the sun. Hand in hand with my best friend Nafia, we marched on.
Hi there, I'm Brianna Keeler, and I report the news for CNN, but I'm also part of a military family. My husband is in the Army, and I have 2 little kids, and so for this special month, the month of the military child, I want to read you a book together as part of the We Serve 2 series. This is called A Child's Deployment Book. Here goes. My daddy joined the army. He's away from me and mommy, and I don't like it. Not one bit. Sometimes I even pitch a fit, and sometimes I regret it. Daddy's unit was deployed. His work is far away. And though we are not overjoyed, a soldier must obey. The army said we couldn't go, and Dad said stay right here and wait for me till I get back in just about a year. It looks like they said goodbye to him around summer, and they have to go through fall and winter and spring before they're going to see him again, right? Sometimes when Dad is far away, he's in a danger zone. And that is why he wants us here, safe and sound at home. Still, I wonder what he does all day when he's so very far away. I think of him when I get up. I think of him at play, digging holes, on the fly, truckin', tankin', private eye. On the run, left, right, march. I'm a statue, stiff as starch. And now, when it is time to eat, I wonder, does he get a treat? Does he say, may I, and please? Does he have to eat his peas? I rest my head each afternoon and wish that Dad would get home soon. He said deployment would be rough, but we'll be fine. Our family's tough. I bet your family's tough too, right? Most other dads come home at night, but mine's too far away. He's fighting hard in freedom's fight. He loves our USA. It looks like they're waiting for him under that tree. Maybe you know that feeling. My soldier dad is far away. Our sacrifice is true. America the beautiful, we're doing it for you. It's nighttime now. I feel so sad. At bedtime, I most miss my dad. I say my prayers before I sleep and ask that God will hold and keep him safe from harm and make him strong and give him faith to fight the wrong. And Daddy says he does the same. He prays for us each night that we'll be safe and brave and strong and always do what's right. My mama needs a hug tonight. She'd like one from my dad. I'll give her one for both of us so she won't be so sad. And now I snuggle down to sleep. Oh, mama, tuck me tight. Snug me up like Daddy's hug. We'll all sleep tight tonight. Oh, she's all snuggled up. Good night.
Hi everyone, I'm Max, the CEO of Caribu, and I'm going to read you 2 stories today in honor of my flamingo dress. I've picked a book that I'm going to read in English and in Spanish, and it just happens to have a flamingo in it. So I'm going to go to my favorites, and I'm going to pick Why. And the author is Graciela Castellanos. So let's read together. Owl, owl, why are your eyes so big? To open and shut them and see much better. Flamingo, flamingo, why are your legs so long? To dance and swing and sway much better. Anteater, why is your nose so big? To smell and sniff and breathe much better. Monkey, monkey, why are your arms so long? To hug and swing and hang much better. Elephant, elephant, why are your ears so big? To hear and listen and fan myself much better. Giraffe, giraffe, why is your neck so long? To reach and eat and see much better. Hippo, hippo, why is your mouth so big? To taste and eat and yawn much better. polar bear, why are your feet so large? To walk and run and stomp much better. Gorilla, gorilla, why are your hands so big? To touch and pat and hold you much better. I hope you enjoyed that story, and I hope you enjoyed it in English. And now let's do it in Spanish. Let's go back to our favorites. And now I'm going to choose por qué, por qué, por qué. So I'm Cuban, and my mom and my grandma would read books to me and tell me nursery rhymes in Spanish. So I'm excited to read this book for you in Spanish as well. It's also by Graciela Castellano, and let's read it together. Bujo, bujo, ¿por qué tus ojos son tan grandes? Para abrirlos, cerrarlos y para ver mejor. Flamingo, flamingo, ¿por qué tus patas son tan largas? Para bailar, danzar y balancearme mejor. Oso hormiguero, ¿por qué tu nariz es tan grande? Para oler, olfatear y respirar mejor. Mono, mono, ¿por qué tus brazos son tan largos? Para abrazar, saltar y colgarme mejor. Elefante, elefante, ¿por qué tus orejas son tan grandes? Para oír, escuchar y abinacarme mejor. Jirafa, jirafa, ¿por qué tu cuello es tan largo? Para alcanzar las hojas más altas de los árboles, comer sus frutos y para ver mejor. Hipopótamo, hipopótamo, ¿por qué tu boca es tan grande? Para saborear, comer y bostezar mejor. Oso polar, ¿por qué tus patas son tan largas? Para caminar, correr y pisar mejor. Gorila, gorila, ¿por qué tus manos son tan grandes? Para tocar, acariciar y agarrar muchas cosas mejor. Y eso es el cuento.
Hi, I'm LeVar Burton, and I am an Army brat. And my mother was an English teacher before she was a social worker. So I grew up in a house where reading was pretty much mandatory. I like to say in my mother's house, you either read a book or you got hit in the head with one. And that's the truth. But I wanted to tell you about an experience that I had when I was in the 3rd grade at Hanau American Elementary School in Hanau, Germany. And our teacher, Miss Twig, on some afternoons after lunch would always go to the teacher's lounge to make herself a cup of tea. And when she did, she would put a book in my hands because I was the best reader in the 3rd grade at Hanau American Elementary. And she knew that when she came back with her cup of tea, the class would still be there. I mean, it wouldn't be burnt down or trashed or anything, that everybody would still be in their desks and listening. And that was really the very first time in my life when someone outside of my family recognized me for a talent that I possessed. And to this very day, reading aloud is one of my favorite ways to tell stories. So the story that I'm going to read for you today is actually a book that I wrote. It's called The Rhino Who Swallowed a Storm. And my co-writer was Susan Schaefer Bernardo, and our illustrator, and I love the illustrations in this book, was the wonderfully talented Courtney Fletcher. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. In the middle of the morning, Mika Mouse trembled under her blanket. Oh, I forgot to tell you. The lead character in this story, Mika Mouse, was named after my daughter, Michaela. When she was little, she was she's still a huge Disney fan, and her nickname has always been Mika. So she is the Mika Mouse in the story. She's 25 now, but she's still Mika Mouse to me. In the middle of the morning, Mika Mouse trembled under her blanket. A storm boomed outside her window. Rain crashed against the glass. Wind rattled the shutters. More than anything else, Mika was afraid of storms. A powerful hurricane had destroyed her home a year before. "I'm scared, Papa," she said. "We are safe, Mika. This storm will pass soon," said Papa. "Would you like me to read you a story? I know just the one to help you feel better." Mika loved books, and Papa's voice soothed in a way that made her forget all about the thunder. Papa opened the book and began. "Long, long ago, before there were words, animals roamed in bountiful herds. Little rhinoceros lived happy and free, exploring mountains and meadows, rivers and trees. His world was delightful and chock full of magic, until out of the blue, that magic turned tragic. A storm swept through the valley, turning bright sky to black. A flash flood came raging, no time to react. Lost in the thundering, no time for wondering. Chaos and lightning, fury so frightening. Earth quaking, him shaking, water rumbling, him tumbling. Raggedy, jaggedy, senseless calamity. The storm crashed through his world and tore it apart and took away everything dear to his heart. Rhino was stunned by the terrible scene. Death and destruction all through the ravine. Enraged by the pain of such a great loss, Rhino acted without a thought to the cost. Rhino looked at the world, all tattered and torn, stood out on the ledge, and swallowed the storm. Inside his belly, he felt the storm growing. Inside his head, he heard howling and blowing like a tornado. He spun as the storm raged inside, growing bigger and bigger, wider and wide. When he finally stopped, when he regained control, he was at the very bottom of a very deep hole. What to do? Rhino worried as rain dripped down his face. I'm lost and I'm lonely and in such a dark place. At just the right moment to comfort and guide him, a spider dropped down and dangled beside him. The world up above is shattered and gray, but it's where you belong, so you must find a way to let that storm out and move through your sorrow. You'll find many helpers on your road to tomorrow. Oh, but that hole was dreadfully deep, and the walls around him were slippery steep. Rhino tried to climb out, but was losing all hope when Kangaroo heard him and threw down a rope. Though Rhino was heavy from the weight of the storm, they towed him right up, got him safe, dry, and warm. We're strong and steady and always ready. When danger strikes, we hop to it. Fire or flood, snow or mud, when help is needed, we'll pull you through it. That was Kangaroo. Well, watching those heroes do what they did best gave Rhino the strength to set off on his quest. But that storm he was clutching made him buzzy and blurry. It kept his brain foggy. It filled him with worry. Where do I go? What do I do? How will I ever make it through? After every dark night, there comes a new day. Be kind, do your best, and you'll find a way. Up comes the sun. There are steps to complete. There isn't a map, just follow your feet. Could you tell those were bees? Well, Rhino followed his feet to a wallowing spot where he plopped on a rock and had a deep thought. I'm tired of caging the wind and the rain, exhausted from holding this anger and pain. We're all on this earth to learn and to grow, a wise old tortoise chimed in from below. Allowing yourself to start feeling your feelings is the very first step on your journey toward healing. It doesn't much matter if you're fast or you're slow. If you want to move forward, just trust and let go. Well, Rhino shook and he shimmied and he stomped in the muck, and just like he'd hoped, that storm came unstuck. At first, one little raindrop leaked out of his eye. Then Rhino let go and had a good cry. His tears formed a river as they flowed to the sea, where a pot of whales swam happy and free. I do feel better, Rhino thought as he drifted. Then up swam a whale and Rhino was lifted. If you ever feel blue, the whale said with a spout, remember to breathe. Breathe in and breathe out. Sing your own song and take it deep, deep, deep. Then rise above with a joyful leap. As he floated home on a gentle wave, Rhino felt calm and strong and brave. His vision was clear like the sky above, and he looked at his world through eyes filled with love. So he thanked the kind spider and the brave kangaroo and all of the others who had helped him through. He was glad to know that if he'd ever lost hope, they'd lend him a hand or throw him a rope. He had journeyed his journey a very long way to find the light in a world turned gray. He'd swallowed a storm with no thought to the cost. He'd felt all alone. He'd been tumbled and tossed. Life would bring changes, beginnings and ends, but he had faith in himself and faith in his friends. And as they curled up together, he felt loved and protected, and he dreamed of a world that was safe and connected. He understood now. It was love that mattered. Love could never be lost. Love could never be shattered. Papa closed the book and gave Mika a hug. I know it was scary when our home was destroyed last winter, said Papa. Bad things happen sometimes, and we can't always control that. But we had lots of helpers, said Mika, just like Rhino did. Well, that's right, little one, Papa said in his gentle way. You're never really alone when bad things happen. There are family and friends, even people we don't know, who are always there to help us through the tough times. And just like every story with a storm, this one ends in a rainbow.
Hi everyone, my name is Kevin Jonas from the Jonas Brothers, and today on Caribu we are celebrating Thomas the Tank Engine's 75th birthday. Yeah, you heard me right, 75 years old, so happy birthday, Thomas. And we are celebrating by reading some stories. Today we're going to read Thomas's Train. Let's get started. Thomas often grumbled because he was not allowed to pull passenger trains. The other engines laughed. You're too impatient, they said. You'd be sure to leave something behind. Rubbish, said Thomas crossly. You just wait. I'll show you. One night, he and Henry were alone. Henry was ill. The men worked hard, but he didn't get better. Now, Henry usually pulled the first train in the morning, and Thomas had to get his coaches ready. If Henry is ill, he thought, perhaps I shall pull his train. Thomas ran to find the coaches. Come along, he fussed. There's plenty of time, grumbled the coaches. He took them to the platform and wanted to run around in front at once, but his driver wouldn't let him. Don't be impatient, Thomas, he said. So Thomas waited and waited. The people got in. The guard and station master walked up and down. The porters banged the doors, and still Henry didn't come. Thomas got more and more excited every minute. Sir Topham Hatt came out of his office to see what was the matter, and the guard and the station master told him about Henry. Find another engine, he ordered. There's only Thomas, they said. You'll have to do it then. Thomas, be quick now. So Thomas ran around to the front and backed up to the coaches, ready to start. Don't be impatient, said the driver. Wait till everything is ready. But Thomas was too excited to listen to a word he said. What happened then, no one knows. Perhaps they forgot to couple Thomas to the train. Perhaps Thomas was too impatient to wait till they were ready. Or perhaps his driver pulled the lever by mistake. Anyhow, Thomas started. People shouted and waved at him, but he did not stop. They're waving because I'm such a splendid engine, he thought. Importantly, Henry said, it's hard to pull trains, but I think it's easy. Hurry, 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 he puffed, pretending to be like Gordon. As he passed the first signal box, he saw the men leaning out, waving and shouting. They've passed to see me, he thought. They'll never see me pulling train before. It's nice of them to wave. And he whistled, peep, peep, thank you, and hurried on. But he came to a signal. Danger, brother, he thought. I must stop. I was going so nicely, too. What a nuisance signals are. And he blew an angry peep, peep on his whistle. One of the signalmen ran up. Hello, Thomas, he said. What are you doing here? I'm pulling a train, said Thomas proudly. Can't you see? Where are your coaches, then? Thomas looked back. Why, bless me, he said, if we haven't left them behind. Yes, said the signalman. You'd better go back quickly to fetch them. At the station, all the passengers were talking at once. They were telling Sir Topham Hatt, the station master, and the guard what a bad railway it was. But when Thomas came back and they saw how sad he was, they couldn't be cross. So they coupled him to the train, and this time he really pulled it. But for a long time afterwards, the other engines laughed at Thomas and said, Look, there's Thomas, who wanted to pull a train, but forgot about the coaches.
What's up, everybody? My name is Robert Lou Trujillo, and I am the author and illustrator of Furkan's First Flat Top, which I'm going to read to you today. Check out the book and more questions about it from Caribu, the app, and I hope you enjoy the story. So it starts off like this. My name is Furkan Moreno. I'm 10 years old, and I've always had really curly hair, but my mom and dad said I can grow it out as long as I want. I just have to comb it. But I decided I want to cut my hair in a different way. Daddy? I asked. Yes, baby, said Daddy. Remember the way that Marcus got his hair cut last year? Talking through toothpaste, Daddy mumbled. Yeah, that's called a flat top. Can we go do that today? I asked. My dad said that we can go, so we took the number 14 bus to Mr. Wallace's barbershop. It's the closest barbershop to our house. Once we get inside, there's lots of people waiting. There's things on the wall, the tables, and lots of people waiting to get their hair cut. Maybe they were waiting to get a flat top too. When it was my turn, I looked at all the stuff that Mr. Wallace had. He had all kinds of tools on his table. Some of them were for cutting hair, and some of them I couldn't tell what they were for. I want to get a flat top, I told Mr. Wallace, but I was still a little bit nervous about how to get it cut, so I asked him to show me some pictures of people's hairstyles. I pointed to the style that I liked, and as he began cutting, I started to imagine how it would look. Then I asked my dad, Daddy, what if my hair comes out flat like the drum that Baba Shola plays in dance class? Won't that look kind of weird? Furkan, don't we both love the way that your teacher's drums sound? It'll look fine, trust me. But what if my hair comes out flat like the pancakes we had for breakfast this morning, Dad? I pleaded. Ah, Dad said, waving his hand. Pancakes are great, and yes, they are flat, but your hair won't look or smell like pancakes. At Abuelita's house on Saturdays, we make tortillas flat with our hands, I said. Dad whispered, tortillas. Will my hair look flat like that? I asked. Tortillas are yummy, but no, it won't. Daddy, remember the time that we tried to bake a cake? It started out all puffy, and then it got flat. Will that happen to my hair? No, it'll look better than that. It'll look fresh, trust me. Okay, well, what if it looks like Cousin Mary's skateboard? I don't want anybody stamping on my head. I guess her skateboard is almost flat. But she's always moving and laughing just like you. Don't worry about it. You know how when you put them records on the machine? I asked. Oh, you mean the turntable? Yeah, what if my head looks flat like a record? Your head would have to be pretty big to look like a record boy. Don't worry about it, trust me. While I was thinking of flat stuff, Mr. Wallace is almost finished cutting my hair. It felt kind of funny when I leaned forward or turned my head, But Mr. Wallace asked if I wanted designs like the Shakur twins. I told him, yeah, and he made all kinds of patterns. And then he said, "Your first flat top is done, Furkan." I looked in the mirror, threw up my hand, and smiled like I had won a contest because it does look fresh. The next day when I got back to school, though, my friends were so surprised at my new haircut. Some people even looked at me funny, but mostly everybody liked it. I told my dad about my first day back at school, and he said, "I told you it looked good, didn't I?" I thanked my dad for taking me to cut my hair a different way, and that is how I got my first flat top.
Hi everyone, I'm Max, the CEO of Caribu, and I'm so excited to read you a story today on the Caribu app so that you can see the story and see me all at the same time. So let's pick a book together. I'm going to go to my favorites. And what about we read Floating Boy? Hello, my name is Pat. I like dinosaurs, starry skies, and chasing birds. I would like to tell you my story. When I was born, I was a baby just like everyone else. But when my friends started to walk, something strange happened to me. I started to float. Mom and Dad soon realized that something wasn't right and began to worry. They decided to take me to the hospital and seek help from the doctors. The doctors did all the tests, but could not understand why I wasn't able to stay on the ground. I believe, one of the doctors said, that Pat is not ill. What he needs is a flying instructor, and I know just the right person. Have you ever heard of Colonel Cloud McWings? Years ago, his plane crashed on a remote island, and he had to learn how to fly to get back home. Since then, he's dedicated his life to teaching others how to fly. That's when my parents agreed to take me to the flying school for floating kids. "Welcome," Colonel McWings greeted us. "Pat, I was expecting you. Let's start your training immediately." One of the older pupils gave me a special gift. "This is my flying manual," the colonel carried on. "Over the years, I've collected all my learnings in this book. When in doubt, open the manual and you'll find a solution." My first lesson is, there is no right or wrong way to be a kid. They come in all shapes and sizes. Swimming kids, slithering kids, tiny kids, giant kids, invisible kids, kids who don't know where to go, kids who don't know where to stay, and floating kids. Lesson number 8, don't try and take advantage of your abilities. Your parents are always smarter than you. Lesson number 12, make friends with the neighborhood birds. They will turn out to be useful in time of need. Lesson number 35, learn how to aim properly. Lesson number 59, keep in mind that with a bit of genius, a solution can always be found. And maybe one day, you'll make it to the moon. Since I have been following Colonel McWing's teachings, my life has changed and everything seems to be easier. But the most important thing I learned is that after all, the world from up here is not that bad. So this book was inspired by the story of Patricio, the real floating boy. Patricio was born with a rare genetic disease and a brain injury that forced him into a wheelchair since he was 4. His strength and contagious smile have ignited our imagination and made us realize that there is a lack of diversity in children's books, and Floating Boy looks at the nature of disability from a curious and sometimes cheeky child's point of view and provides parents with a powerful tool to start a conversation with children about these topics. And that's from Alicio and Fabrizio.